This is your Barbados Today morning news update for Wednesday, December the 19th. I'm Emmanuel Joseph. Thanks for joining us. Top in the news at this hour, police are investigating what they suspect to be the 27th murder for the year. Police spokesman Acting Station Sergeant Michael Blackman said last night the body of a man was discovered at Walton Drive, a cul-de-sac just off University Drive, St. Michael. Late into the night, dozens of police were combing the area as a small crowd gathered to get a glimpse of the body.
About 5:35 p.m., today being Tuesday, December the 18th, 2018, the body of an adult male was discovered at Paradise Heights in a densely vegetated area. Anyone who can provide any information to assist us in the investigations are asked to call District A at 430-7220-7223. Police emergency at 211. Crime Stoppers at 1-800-TIPS or 1-800-8477 or any police station.
Prime Minister Mottley has told the citizens and residents of this country that Barbados is back following years of economic rot. Reporting to the nation in the House of Assembly last night on her government's first 6 months in office, Prime Minister Mottley, however, cautioned that the island was not yet out of the woods. But at the same time, she has given the assurance that the country was on track to restoring economic growth and a better life for all by this time next year.
As the first 6 months leave us, therefore, sir, we have reached our milestone. The first bell can be rung. Barbados is back. This Christmas, you can take a breather. But being back is never enough because the journey has to continue. And we are on track. We're passing the right road signs, but there is still much further to go. Being back is about establishing the base from which we move forward as a nation and as a people. Said always, stabilize the patient. Stabilize. How many times have you heard me stop the bleeding? Stop the hemorrhaging. Deal with recovery first. And whenever we finish that, move on to transformation next for a purpose.
Prime Minister Mottley also said that at the turn of the new year, her administration will continue to make hard decisions and burn the late-night oil in its commitment to making Barbadians happy, healthy, and economically empowered.
In the new year, we will continue to roll back our shirt sleeves, bend our backs, and continue to do what is necessary to rebuild our nation. I am inspired, sir, by the approach of our social partners. I really am. And that is why you will hear me thank them on each occasion. It cannot be easy for unions to see workers go on the breadline, or for businesses to agree to measures that will hurt their operations or cut into their profits. But sir, we all recognize that what is at stake is bigger than each and every one of us. In the final analysis, this is Barbados, the land we love, and the only place that 99.9% of us would wish to live.
Mottley also reported that government has recorded a surplus this quarter for the first time in years.
Despite all of our expenditures, despite all of the refunds, despite all of the repayments, your government today, Mr. Speaker, has moved from a decade of deficits to the first surplus in this quarter. Mr. Speaker, a surplus in a quarter. Can you remember when last you heard that in this chamber?
In sports now, 12 West Indians have been drafted during the Indian Premier League auction as the 8 franchises finalize their teams for the 2019 tournament. More in this report from ABS News.
Windies T20 captain Carlos Brathwaite was sold to the Kolkata Knight Riders, where he'll be teaming up with Andre Russell and Sunil Narine. Emerging star Shimon Hetmeyer and O'Shane Thomas will be joining Royal Challengers Bangalore and Rajasthan Royals, respectively. Promising batsman Nicholas Pullen went to Kings XI Punjab, who also have Chris Gale in their lineup. Dwayne Bravo will be suiting up for Chennai Super Kings, while Evan Lewis and Kyron Pollard will be representing Mumbai Indians. Delhi Capitals picked up Shafane Rutherford and Kimo Paul. The IPL will run from March 29th to May 19th.
There's regional and international news after this short break.
Barbados Today, news you can trust.
Welcome back with news from the region now. The Eastern Caribbean Central Bank will now be obligated to inform the Antigua and Barbuda government of major developments in the banking sector in the future. This follows approval by that country's upper chamber of an amendment to the Banking Act in the wake of a surprise decision by Scotiabank to sell its assets in St. John's and 8 other Eastern Caribbean states.
The bill has been read a third time and passed accordingly.
The measure simply removes one word, may, and replaces it with shall in one section of the bill. By doing that, it makes it mandatory for the Eastern Caribbean Central Bank to inform the Minister with responsibility for finance of all applications for the acquisition of a licensed financial institution or a licensed financial holding company.
Although the advice as to whether or not to grant a banking business vesting order will rest with the central bank, the policy of the government is that it should be informed at the earliest opportunity of a potential transaction that could seriously hamper the financial sector.
But opposition Senator Sean Nicholas questioned the true essence of the amendment.
Who determines the earliest possible opportunity? Who determines that?
And on the global front, a U.S. judge fiercely criticized President Donald Trump's former national security advisor, Michael Flynn, on Tuesday for lying to the FBI agents in a probe into Russian interference in the 2016 election and delayed sentencing him until Flynn has finished helping prosecutors.
A federal judge throwing Washington a curve on Tuesday at what was supposed to be the sentencing for President Trump's former national security advisor, Michael Flynn. Special counsel Robert Mueller had asked the judge not to sentence Flynn to prison due to his help with the probe, since Flynn pleaded guilty a year ago to lying about a conversation he had with Russian Ambassador Sergei Kislyak. But on Tuesday, Judge Emmett Sullivan had other ideas. Sullivan told Flynn in court that, quote, arguably you sold your country out for lying to Trump's White House as well as the FBI about that conversation, noting that Flynn also was working as a secret lobbyist for Turkey while he worked on Trump's election team. Flynn to spend more time cooperating with Mueller's Russia probe before he finds out whether or not he'll go to prison.
And that's news, but for the very latest, visit our website at www.barbadostoday.bb. You can also subscribe to our e-paper, email updates, or like us on Facebook, and sign up for our breaking news alerts via WhatsApp. We are also on Izumi Media in bus terminals, as well as Screenplay at supermarkets and gas stations near you. Now you can also hear us on Mix 96.9 FM and Capital Media HD 99.3 FM. I'm Emmanuel Joseph. Have a fantastic day.